Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Friday, October 10th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
He calls it the Great Journey or La Grande Traversée. On September 22nd, Yannick Richard began his trek east from British Columbia in his motorized wheelchair on secondary roads.
On average, 100 kilometers a day, 125. It's really hard for me because I'm on the road 5 or 6 hours a day, and it's hard on my hands because I have to steer the wheelchair.
Yannick is followed by a donated RV, making stops at ALS centers and hearing people's own stories of having a family member battling the disease.
He saw the RV in the road, and he did 10 kilometers just to find us, make a donation. And
Yannick himself was blindsided by a diagnosis just over 2 years ago. Soon after, he started planning this 5-province marathon to build awareness and raise funds. His family and friends are helping him along the way.
It's really about community as well. His friends, his childhood friends, his neighbors and close friends, everybody is helping him. They're taking turns to be with him every week of his journey.
Yannick's daily updates on social media are getting noticed.
But we are happy that Yannick succeeds to reach more and more people on the road.
But rolling 4,500 kilometers is no easy feat, and there have been challenges. This week, at the halfway point while crossing into Ontario, Yannick's RV broke down.
I want to continue the journey.
A local garage came to the rescue and got Yannick back on the road quickly.
He plows forward and he finds solutions, and nothing is stopping him to reach his goal to make it across Canada in his wheelchair.
It's also getting colder, and Yannick feels like he's doing his own kind of ALS ice bucket challenge. Yet, he's still on track to arrive at his hometown of Prévost near Saint-Sever on October 25th, where a big party is planned.
For the family, it will be fun. We will have food truck, pizza, microbrasserie Shawbridge, and the Café Aga will be there.
He still hopes more people will find him on social media and donate, so that one day ALS will be in the rear-view mirror. Christine Long, CTV News.
In the heart of Kemptville, Bubba and Bug's coffee bar bustles with happy customers. It's just what Scott Godwin, who grew up here, loves to see.
My husband Luke and I had daydreamed about owning a cafe at some point. This one became available, and it just seemed like everything aligned.
But when the couple moved back from Toronto 5 years ago, Godwin faced a problem. He didn't have a family doctor.
It was a good 3 to 3.5 years without a physician.
Worrying about trips to walk-in clinics and long wait times, a problem faced by around 5,000 others here.
And now I have a fantastic family physician here in town that I can't speak highly enough about.
In 2023, North Grenville aimed to tackle its doctor shortage, approving a primary care incentive program providing family physicians with a cash bonus, around $100,000 in return for a 5-year commitment. As part of the program, new family doctors aren't just setting up clinics, they're taking on shifts at the Kemptville District Hospital in order to help fill critical coverage gaps.
They've rostered over 3,500 patients.
Dr. Elise Malakadamian is the 4th and latest recruit.
And they've really stabilized our foes, our family health clinics. And we hope through their tenure in Kemptville over those 5 years, they actually end up staying much longer.
Unlike other municipalities across Ontario, Ottawa's new plan to entice doctors does not include cash incentives.
One of the things we realized is that even though you attract the doctors, they don't necessarily stay.
The city says part of its solution is to remove some of the administrative burden to allow doctors to focus on patients.
This is what's going to keep them as family doctors employed in the community.
Back in Kemptville, bonuses may bring doctors here, but it's Godwin's hope, community spirit, and small-town charm makes them stay.
To be able to have access to a physician, especially here in town, was huge. Didn't think possible at that time.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
We were told that her life is not worth and to have an abortion. So coming from a doctor, it was a hard hit.
That was the reality Roxana Constantinesco and her family faced when they learned their daughter Ellie was born with Down syndrome. But just days after her birth, the Wellington Waterloo Down Syndrome Society reached out and invited her to a picnic.
We went and we saw people with Down syndrome from all ages, from a few months to 40, I believe, at that time, and then shortly after, like 6 months after, it was the calendar. So that's when we realized, wait a minute, there are so many people, so many stories.
Fast forward until today, and Ellie is thriving, an athlete who has starred in the annual calendar campaign for the last 11 years.
I like to be on the calendar. It's my favorite place to be on.
It's not your average calendar. It's a visual voice for those living with Down syndrome.
For the last 11 years, we've used these photos to help shift perceptions and open conversations between our communities and people with Down syndrome.
The 2026 campaign is called I Belong.
Calls to action of how can I make someone with a disability truly feel like they belong instead of just inviting them to be a part of something.
The photos capturing lived experiences with participants, creating positive imagery.
I was an artist person, and Pop tell me I'm an artist, and I do a lot of sports.
When I do sports, I feel happy and included.
The calendars will be available through their website at a cost of $10, with less of a focus on fundraising and more of a focus on breaking stigmas.
It's more about getting the word out there and getting these beautiful calendars and these beautiful faces of the people in the calendars out into as many spaces in the community as possible.
The calendars will become available in November, and although there is no specific fundraising goal, the money raised will go to support those living with Down syndrome. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Kitchener.
Last month, Foreigner put the call out for backup, and 4 high schools answered. The winner will join the legendary rockers on stage to perform their classic, I Want to Know What Love Is. At the Avenir Centre on October 25th. In addition to taking the stage with the band and Nova Scotia's own Gordie Brown as lead singer, the winning choir's school will receive a $500 donation. Maeve Marshall is part of the drama club at Petitcodiac Regional School.
They just must have saw it online or saw a post about it or something. We thought it was super cool, and we said, yeah, we definitely want to try to see if we can, win the contest.
Other schools from Moncton include Harrison Trimble, Bernice McNaughton, and Tantramar High in Sackville are all finalists. Marshall, a grade 12 student, says it's not just the students who are excited.
I mean, kids our age, don't know as much of the, 80s kind of band, but like my mom really thought it was a cool opportunity.
Online voting wraps up Friday at 10 a.m.
I think that they should definitely vote for, any school, to be honest, because this is like an opportunity for kids to go do something really, really cool in front of a huge crowd of people.
And have a night to remember. Josh Smith, CTV News, Moncton.
Two steps, body rolls, shoulder leans, and lifts. You'll see it all at the 21st Annual Salsa and Bachata Congress.
We have all levels. We have amateurs, we have children, we have professional, we have Rising Star, which is like our semi-professional division. And this is the first and largest competition of its kind in Canada.
The Congress brings together the best in pro and amateur dancers from Canada and around the world. For the dancers, it's an opportunity to not only show off their hard work, but to connect with the dance community.
The whole community comes together and shares their passion for this culture and this dance. Like you said, from beginners to people who have been doing this for over 20 years. So it's just beautiful to see everyone come together and enjoy the music.
The Congress is also a qualifying event for international competitions, giving Canadian dancers the chance to compete at the highest level.
We actually have qualifiers here for the Summit, which takes place in New Jersey, and that is a world championship. And we also have qualifiers here for the Universal Dance League, which takes place in Italy every June.
Doing it all for the love of the big moves and signature styles.
So I think we like a little bit of everything. That's why these weekends are so special to us, is because it's literally 5-6 days of non-stop adrenaline.
From pro to amateur, roughly 800 dancers over the next few days are going to be performing. The 21st annual Salsa and Bachata Congress runs all the way through until October 13th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
It isn't every day that you see a dog rappelling down a 5-story building, but that's exactly what was happening at the Brandon Airport Thursday. And it wasn't just a single dog taking the plunge. A whole pack of dogs, along with their handlers, went over the ledge.
I wasn't nervous walking up, but as soon as you step over the ledge and the dog's on you, your heart rate definitely goes up. But you know what? It's all a learning opportunity.
And indeed, that's exactly why Canon Wong and other members from Canada's heavy urban search and rescue disaster response teams are in Brandon right now. Okay, little tension. Thursday, teams from Alberta and Vancouver, BC joined the Manitoba team for ongoing training.
I truly believe that 98% of people in Canada don't even know we have the capability which we have here.
And that includes the capability to drop into any disaster and search and rescue the victims. This includes from a collapsed building, a scenario the Vancouver team actually encountered in 2022.
We had a building parkade, rooftop parkade collapse in Vancouver, and it's where the rooftop parkade collapsed onto a bakery that was underneath, and my canine was actually the one that found the person.
Crawling over the rubble of a collapsed building isn't easy for the dog or their handler.
Sure.
That's why the teams train relentlessly and validate their skills every year.
These guys work really hard and train really hard to be ready for if any kind of disaster happened and did happen, our guys are prepared to go and to assist anybody that needs it.
No matter how high, they have to go to do it. John Hendricks, CTV News, Brandon.
After a transport trailer fire destroyed hundreds of the Prince Albert Grand Council's pre-packed Thanksgiving hampers, volunteers worked hard to make up for lost time.
Well, I probably worked about 18 hours there, and that's still long, and they had a lot done already, so.
Thanks to the volunteers, the Thanksgiving hamper pickup went ahead as planned.
We had a really good staff, and we had a lot of volunteers come in from, the YWCA. They really helped out a lot. Prince Albert Grand Council and some of the other agencies and individuals from the community, felt it was a really worthy project and they wanted to help out.
The trailer caught fire Friday evening, leaving less than a week to gather enough food for the 3,600 names who registered.
We lost approximately 1,500 hampers that were in a semi that was burned shortly after we just loaded the semi. And we decided shortly thereafter that we'd go ahead with it anyways.
Local businesses and individuals donated to the cause. Even organizations from out of province pitched in.
There was some donations coming in from down east. There was a couple of semis of food came in from the Leamington Food Hub in Windsor, by Windsor, Ontario.
Volunteers and staff were still working on the hampers during the pickup.
Oh, yeah, long days. It was a lot of work, but it was fun.
Pickups were on Wednesday and Thursday, serving a line of cars that went on for blocks. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Clint Marr's family has been ranching cattle outside of Twin Butte for over 80 years. And while sharing the land with wildlife isn't new, the increasing number of grizzly bears is.
Although there was always bears here, there's now quite a few more. And they've now taken up residence.
He's lost cattle worth tens of thousands of dollars to grizzlies. A problem until the last few years was quite rare.
We've had bears come right into our corrals and kill calves there.
After a few close calls of his own, he now carries a gun and doesn't let his granddaughter roam the property the way he did growing up.
About every rancher in this area has run into a bear on a on a fence line fencing or when they're calving.
Researchers with the Carnivores and Communities program are in the early stages of a project looking to connect with landowners or anyone who suspects or has seen a den in southern Alberta. Historically, grizzlies roamed the prairies freely until early settlers pushed the populations out in the early 1900s. They're now predominantly in the mountains or foothills, but have been moving further east with more sightings, encounters, and reports of dens in the grasslands. Data for the region is more than a decade old, but experts say it likely points to a growing number of grizzlies in Alberta.
Over, again, these last couple decades, certainly the population has grown from what it was, and as that happens, bears are moving into new places.
And that's meant more encounters, including an August attack on a man near Cardston. The Ministry of Forestry and Parks introduced a targeted hunt for problem grizzly bears last year, but Todd Lowen says there are no plans to expand it or remove the 2006 ban on hunting.
There's a lot of worry, I think, in a lot of rural Alberta where these the bears have expanded into where they haven't been traditionally. And so I think we have to keep our eye on that and make sure that Albertans are safe and feel safe.
Marr understands bears belong on the landscape too, but can't ignore ones that become a threat to his family and livelihood.
If you got a bad bear, you've got a bad bear. They need to be dealt with.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News in Twin Butte.
As a jet aircraft trainer and its pilots prepares to take to the skies over London, these two men are working to bring a vintage fighter plane home. They are among the many volunteers of the Jet Aircraft Museum. The facility opened in 2009 is home to multiple flying and static vintage aircraft. They include a rare Second World War Japanese rocket plane and other vintage aircraft from around the world. However, this museum's primary goal remains the entire available collection of RCAF jet aircraft. Long missing has been the Canadian-built Starfighter.
So what we're trying to acquire is two F-104 Starfighters. They're currently in another country.
That country is Greece. Unlike most other nations that purchased starfighters, Greece never dismantled them or sold them for scrap. Now the nation is prepared to sell two to Canada. But as you might expect, getting this project off the ground is going to take cash. A fundraising campaign is now underway. The museum hopes the public and potentially the federal government will help.
We believe about $60,000 Canadian will take them apart, put them in containers in Greece, ship them to the port.
Then once they get here, then that's when we start working on them. So it could be a couple years before we start seeing them out on the static display.
It is unlikely the pair will ever soar into the skies again, but as this is a flying museum, the potential for takeoff is never ruled out.
We don't think, being as these aircraft would do over Mach 2, that the Canadian government will say, sure, a private owner can restore these and make them fly. But if we can, we will.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
At Street Help, staff and volunteers are serving up hot meals in a brand new dining area, a space that's already making a difference for those who come through the doors.
We feed a lot of people within the neighborhood, families, children, and that it breaks your heart to see. But at the same time, I'm so grateful that we're able to provide for those families.
Street Help says it's seeing more visitors than ever, serving up about 500 meals a day. Administrator Christine Wilson-Furlonger says they welcome donations of both food and volunteer time, especially over the holidays.
It's huge, the demand. So, of course, we need the turkeys and hams to still come in and the fixings. But importantly, right now, we need money. This Canada Post mail strike has really crippled us financially. We really need every penny we can pull in right now.
A few blocks away, the Wyandotte Town Centre Business Improvement Association handed out dozens of free turkeys this afternoon to families in need.
We have to give back to our community. There's a lot of people right now that are hurting, a lot of families that need it. to be honest about it, it makes the merchants and the BIA, we feel really good about it. It helps us too, because we feel good about giving back.
And tomorrow, your neighborhood credit union is bringing back its annual food drive for the 3rd year in front of the Real Canadian Superstore on Walker, collecting food donations for the downtown mission to help stock shelves before the long weekend.
Thanksgiving is about gratitude and sharing what we have with others. So it truly is every can, every box of pasta, every small act of generosity really adds up.
According to Feed Ontario, more than 800,000 people turned to food banks last year, the highest number on record. That's 1 in 16 Ontarians depending on community charities to eat.
It's just not realistic anymore.
That reason alone was enough for Frank Lepan to drop off $1,400 unannounced to Street Help today.
I've never been in this position, so I'm glad to help out, and so are the guys that I work with and the work that we do. So I told Christine we'll be back again to help them out. So this is an ongoing problem, so we'll do the best that we can.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
When she went walking to the thrift store that day, Helga Strauss was searching for inspiration.
Anything that's sparking some interest.
And in this case, it was a book about Marilyn Monroe and a couple others about cats that Helga started cutting up.
It's almost like making a puzzle.
But instead of using prefabricated pieces, Helga was making up the puzzle as she went.
Sometimes you get those pieces together and just like, click.
And this time, a kitten's head unexpectedly clicked on Marilyn's body.
And I was just like, oh my God, I just loved it so much. I just found myself just giggling to myself like nonstop.
So Helga didn't stop. She started creating countless collages featuring cats wearing all sorts of costumes. And when she was done with the books, found inspiration in junk mail featuring prescription glasses.
And I just took one look and I was like, I got to put those on some cats.
Collages featuring felines wearing frames led to kittens in clawfoot tubs.
Just pure joy and hilarity.
Just so different than what Helga was feeling after her dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
It was really, really painful, really tough.
The dad, who had provided so much comfort and so much inspiration for so long, was disappearing.
So many days were filled with tears, but this was a place where I could go and escape and find that joy.
But even better, when Helga would share the collages with her dad, he would find his joy too.
And even, in his diminished capacity, he could see that it was, a cat head on this human body and have a little chuckle too.
And they would connect in a way that can't be constructed with scissors or attached with glue, making the memories that even when forgotten, your heart always remembers.
Always follow your joy. Always.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.